Module 3, I went over your inherent traits. In this module, I'll introduce your learned behaviors. In contrast to your inherent traits, these are behaviors that you've learned growing up from your parents or immediate environment. Since they're learned behaviors, in theory they can be changed, but for the most part they're already an ingrained part of your personality. Learned behaviors relate strongly to a big part of any job, how you work with people and how you work with information. Knowing these two are key to finding a career that's a good fit for you. The learned behaviors in the Careerchoice GPS profile are your comfort with conflict, people orientation, and analytical orientation. Remember that the numbers that you see on the report are where roughly 80% of the population falls on that construct or scale. That's why there'll be different numbers for each trait, and why the 0 is not always the midpoint. The first learned behavior, comfort with conflict, looks at your comfort where conflict exists or where there's potential for conflict. The extremes on this scale are comfortable with conflict on the left and avoids conflict on the right. People on the left are not only comfortable with conflict, but may actively initiate it to reach a conclusion or solve a problem. People in the middle handle conflicts as they arise, and people on the far right really don't like conflict and will avoid it whenever they can. Find your score on the profile. Is it on the left, the right, or the middle? Remember that comfort with conflict is a learned behavior. People on the left have learned through their homes or school or television that good things can come out of conflicts. They may have had an aggressive boss or parent and have learned to accept the challenge. People on the right can remember problems created by conflict that led to anger or sadness, so they learned early on that conflict is naturally bad and should be avoided whenever possible. Those in the middle have seen both sides, so have taken the mindset that it really depends. It can mean danger or opportunity depending on the situation. Next is your people orientation. People orientation represents your approach to building relationships with people and how much you enjoy meeting new people. On the left is very sociable, and on the right is build relationships slowly. Someone on the left makes contacts and friends quickly and comfortably. Someone on the right takes more time to develop relationships and tends to limit the number of relationships they manage. I'm actually on the right with this one. Find your number on the people orientation scale. Say you were at a social gathering like a party or networking event, something like maybe a family reunion. Someone on the left would get energized being around so many other people. They find people as a source of energy and enjoyment. Someone on the right might see a social gathering as filled with people that wear you out. Despite people's advice to build your network, they feel surrounded by people who want something from them instead of offering value. Someone in the middle would see this as something to meet people and have fun, but also sees that not all people are worth the energy and effort. Last of the learned behaviors is your analytical orientation. Analytical orientation looks at your interest in learning for its own sake and dealing with technical information. On the left is analytical systematic. Right is learns the essentials. People on the left need lots of data to make decisions, and in cases on the extreme left may actually suffer from analysis paralysis. People on the right need minimum information to get the job done. Those on the far right like to consistently go with their gut feeling. How would you go about buying a new computer or cell phone? Someone on the left would look through the product specifications for a number of different models to learn the different kinds of functions offered. Maybe look at product ratings and rankings, user reviews, and then get feedback from others. Someone on the right might look at the specifications for the phones with a couple of functions he's interested in. Maybe try one at the store or from a friend, and get the one that just feels right. Someone in the middle would look at a couple of the most established rankings and research some of the functions outside of his core interest. But that's only if he sees value in it, not for the fun of it, like somebody on the left might. So these are your learned behaviors. By this point, you can combine this with what you know about your inherent traits to more fully understand your personality and how you work. Next, we'll go over your attitudes and beliefs.